You've been told to build walls, to hide your weaknesses and always appear strong, especially in your relationships. You think that to be a rock for someone, you have to be unbreakable, maybe even a little unfeeling. For years, you've been reinforcing the fortress around your heart, convinced that this emotional armor is the only thing keeping you safe. But what if that armor isn't a fortress, but a cage? What if the very thing you think is protecting you is actually keeping you from the deep connections and inner peace you're searching for? The ancient Stoics, those masters of resilience, knew a profound secret about human nature that we've mostly forgotten. They understood a paradox, that true, unshakable strength isn't found by suppressing your emotions, but in the courage to be vulnerable. This isn't about being weak. It's about discovering a hidden strength. In this video, I'm going to share 4 Stoic secrets to help you turn emotional exposure into your greatest asset, build deeper connections, and forge an unshakable sense of self. If you're ready to stop hiding and start building real, authentic strength, I have a quick favor to ask. Hit that like button, and drop a comment below saying, "I choose strength." And of course, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more ancient wisdom for modern life. Let's be honest. The modern world has sold us a pretty warped idea of what it means to be strong. We confuse the philosophy of Stoicism with being Stoic, that lowercase s version that means bottling up your feelings and putting on a cold, indifferent face. We're taught that vulnerability is a liability, a flaw to be hidden at all costs. So, we build our emotional fortresses, brick by brick. We dodge difficult conversations. We say we're fine when we're anything but. We think asking for help is a sign of failure, and that showing our fear, our hurt, or our uncertainty will just lead to rejection. But what's the real cost of this isolation? It creates a huge gap between who we are and who we pretend to be. It leads to shallow relationships where we're never truly seen. It fuels a quiet desperation that comes from constantly pushing down our own humanity. We end up feeling completely alone, even when we're surrounded by people, because the person they're with isn't the real us. The ancient Stoics, whose wisdom has lasted for over 2,000 years, knew this wasn't strength. They knew that living in a guarded, fearful way is just being a slave to your own fear. True strength, they argued, is an inside job. To get this paradox, we have to unlearn the modern definition of vulnerability. For a Stoic, vulnerability isn't about oversharing or having a breakdown in public. The real risk, the thing that truly made you vulnerable, was the danger of compromising your character, your reason and your virtue. It all goes back to a foundational principle, summed up by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus at the start of his handbook, the asterisk enchiridion. Some things are in our control, and some aren't. What's in our control? Our judgments, our choices, our actions. What's not? External events, what other people think, and our reputation. Our modern fear of vulnerability is almost entirely about things we can't control, what others will think, say, or do. A Stoic would say that basing your inner peace on those uncontrollable things is the ultimate weakness. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations asterisk, in a line that's often paraphrased as, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple idea changes everything. Stoicism teaches us to build an inner citadel, a fortress of rational calm and moral integrity. But this fortress isn't meant to lock us away from the world. Paradoxically, it's the very thing that gives us the security to open the gates and engage with the world authentically. So, Let's break down how to build that inner strength and use it to be courageously vulnerable. The first step isn't to suppress your emotions, but to master them. The Stoics had a word for this, apatheia. This is often mistranslated as apathy, but it's much closer to freedom from irrational passions. It's not about feeling nothing. It's about not being a slave to your feelings. The best tool for this is the Stoic pause. It's just creating a little space between something happening and how you respond to it. Think about it. Someone you care about says something that stings. Your immediate, untrained reaction might be to lash out in anger or pull away in shame. Those are knee-jerk reactions driven by ego and fear. The Stoic, however, pauses. In that tiny moment, they ask themselves a few rational questions. What just happened here? Is my interpretation of this correct? Is their opinion actually in my control? What's the most virtuous way I can respond? This pause doesn't make you emotionless. It makes you intentional. It lets you acknowledge the feeling of hurt without letting it control you. This practice is the bedrock of Stoic strength. It gives you a secure foundation from which you can choose to be vulnerable in a healthy way. You can say, when you said that, it hurt me, without being consumed by anger or terrified of their reaction. You're sharing a feeling, not as a victim, but as a rational person communicating an experience. You can be honest because your self-worth isn't riding on their response. For the Stoics, courage was one of the 4 cardinal virtues. And make no mistake, choosing to be vulnerable is a massive act of courage. It's a concept that modern researchers like Brené Brown have echoed, stating that vulnerability is all about uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. She argues you simply can't be brave without being vulnerable. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote that, in some translations, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. In a world that pressures you to fit in and hide your true self, just choosing to be authentic is an act of defiance. It takes real courage to show up in your life and say, "This is who I am. Here are my flaws, my uncertainties, and my struggles." That isn't weakness, it's a demonstration of integrity. Think about admitting a mistake to your boss instead of trying to cover it up. Or telling a partner, "I'm feeling insecure right now and could use some reassurance," instead of picking a fight to get attention. These acts of authentic vulnerability build trust and connection in a way that pretending to be perfect never could. After all, cruelty and defensiveness often spring from our own hidden weaknesses. When we have the courage to face our insecurities, we can act with kindness and understanding instead. The Stoics were realists. They knew that to live a meaningful life, to love, to build friendships, to chase a goal, you have to open yourself up to the possibility of pain. To care about something is to be vulnerable to its loss. Denying this is denying life itself. To prepare for this, they used a practice that modern writers call premeditatio malorum the premeditation of bad things. This isn't about being a pessimist. It's a psychological resilience exercise. By calmly and occasionally thinking about potential loss, a relationship ending, a job disappearing, even your own mortality, you strip these events of their power to shock and devastate you. Paradoxically, by accepting the worst that could happen, you become free to engage fully with the present. By accepting that every relationship is impermanent, you're inspired to cherish it more deeply right now. By understanding that you can't control others, you can offer them your trust and openness without being paralyzed by the fear of betrayal. This shifts your perspective. Vulnerability stops being a personal failing and becomes a universal, shared part of being human. Recognizing our shared vulnerability is the foundation of empathy and real social bonds. When you're open about your struggles, you give others permission to do the same, creating a space for true connection. Now, this is not a call for reckless emotional dumping. Stoicism isn't about telling everyone your deepest secrets. That would be foolish, not brave. The final piece of the puzzle is the virtue of wisdom, knowing the difference between what's helpful and what's harmful. Unhealthy vulnerability is usually driven by impulse or a desperate need for validation. It's complaining without a purpose, oversharing with people who haven't earned your trust, or just losing control to get attention. Healthy, Stoic vulnerability is different. It's a conscious, rational choice. It's sharing your authentic self with the right people at the right time to build a deeper connection. It's asking for help when you need it, not as a sign of weakness, but as a strategic move toward a goal. It's done with purpose and dignity. Stoicism gives you the self-control to be vulnerable without losing your composure. You use wisdom to size up the situation. Is this person trustworthy? Is sharing this productive right now? Is my goal to connect and solve a problem, or am I just seeking validation? Your inner citadel gives you the strength to be open, and your wisdom tells you when and where to open the gates. For too long, we've bought into the lie that strength is an impenetrable wall. That to be strong, we have to be emotionless. The Stoics teach us a more powerful truth. Real strength isn't the wall itself, but the calm, confident guard who knows when to open the gates. The more you fortify your inner world with reason and self-control, the more freely and safely you can open yourself to the outer world. Vulnerability stops being so scary when you know that no matter what happens, your core self, your character, your integrity, can't be harmed. Your invincibility doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from knowing you have the strength to endure it. So here's your challenge for this week: practice the Stoic pause. The next time you're in a conversation and feel that flash of anger, defensiveness, or fear, just for a second, don't react. Pause. Acknowledge the feeling. And then, choose your response with intention. That little bit of space is where your real power is. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more wisdom on your journey to a stronger, more tranquil life. Thanks for watching.